I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you so much if you are here watching this. It means more to me than you could ever know. This is the most important video I've ever made, and the fact that you're here taking the time to hear me is priceless. So thank you. But I'm just going to get straight to the point. Every time I've talked about this, I've kept my helmet on because I didn't want my face to be too associated with the drama, and for it to be too recognizable, then that could potentially put me in danger. So let me just start off with making a point. I am overjoyed to say that I finally have proof of my innocence about everything. Everything. And I'm sure you're wondering that if I had proof, why didn't I make a video sooner? It's been 4 months. And it's because that I've had proof of different things, but not of the most important thing. It wouldn't matter if I could prove the other things wrong. So I'll just get straight to it. So to get you back up to pace, because I know it's been a while, I'm going to summarize the story, even though most of you probably know it, but I'm just going to refresh your memory. Exactly 1 year ago, I decided to turn my life around. I decided to start living life completely differently. To stop living life how I wanted to live it and live it to how I needed to live it. So I decided to spend 30 days to get into shape. And in 1 month, I went from this to this. Shortly after that, I blew up on TikTok, like big time blew up. Like I was getting millions of views every single video, boom, 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 one after the other, tens of millions of views, and everything was going great until my first controversy. And I'm going to, for the love of God, I'm going to skip the he's a scammer story because I've proven that one wrong so many times. If you don't believe me, just watch my previous videos. Moving on. My first real controversy. That wasn't something that just, never happened. It was a transphobic comment I made a while ago. It was on a music artist's post, and I wasn't vibing with the music, so I left a negative comment, and that upset a lot of people because my account was supposed to be all about love and acceptance. It was supposed to be about no negativity. It was supposed to be good vibes. So the fact that I, a beacon of positivity, was leaving comments on people's posts that were negative, that upset a lot of people. And that is when Pippy first entered the scene. And the reason for this was, and he told me this over a DM, was because he had a family member of some kind who was trans, so he felt the responsibility to speak on their behalf. So he in turn, as a response to me making a negative comment, made a video exposing me for exaggerating the weight of my sword.
I guess I'll have to show everyone who you really are. This is a video of you talking about your sword.
That's the best he could do, was saying that once I said my sword was 40 pounds, and he rolled up with the,
actually.
Actually, claymores are not 40 pounds. They actually average at 10 pounds. And no one gave a fuck. His video got a good portion of likes, but the majority of the people in the comments weren't fucking with it. They were like, the best thing he could get exposed for was the fact that he kind of exaggerated the weight of his sword. That's it. So no one cared. And that was his first attempt at canceling me. No one gave a fuck because it wasn't that big a deal at all. So that was his first attempt. Shortly after that, a matter of weeks, if not days, incredibly fake screenshots of me started surfacing. And then he was the first to post about it. And I have proved those screenshots fake so many times. And as I said, if you still haven't seen that, feel free to just look at my last video. I addressed that. So obviously, just someone wearing my profile picture and then just saying a bunch of shit and then saying it's me. And for some reason, some people bought it. Some people believed that. In the end, I ended up proving how those were fake, and he once again took his video down. So that was the second time he made a video about me, was wrong, and then took his video down. Fast forward a few months, I was making fun of one of my Discord mods because of how short she was. She was like literally like barely above 4 foot. Like I mean barely. And everyone in my staff team was all like kind of in on the joke. And then when I ended up insulting her, she took it incredibly personally and then decided to screenshot the conversation that I had with her and then immediately sent it straight to Pippy to try to get me in trouble. And then Pippy decided to make a video, and he was saying,
This is one of his mods, and she is 17 years old, and that makes Tall Knight a pedophile.
And then I made a follow-up video saying that that was taken completely out of context, and furthermore, I am 19 years old. There's a bit of an error in this accusation on me, saying that I'm a pedophile. And the error here is the fact that I am also a teenager. And the infamous screenshots that everyone is talking about, yeah, they're real. It was when I flirted with a girl a while back. But I hate to break it to you, but she was less than 2 years younger than me. The only thing I'm guilty of is maybe being a little flirty. But that does not at all make me a pedophile, not even a little bit. But none of you bothered to ask that or even bother to learn how old I am exactly. So I am barely a year older than this girl. And once again, for the third time, Pippy took down his video because nobody took his side and started making fun of him for being wrong again. So at this point in time, this man had tried to take me down 3 times. 3 times. He had a perfect reputation, causing drama and taking down and deplatforming people. And he had tried 3 times with me and failed every single time. Now, this point in time is when things started getting pretty serious, because I suddenly got banned out of nowhere without warning, even though my account was in perfect standing. No guideline violations whatsoever. And then just gone. So at that point in time, Pippy decided to jump on the opportunity to tell everyone why he thinks I got banned.
You were banned because you were marketing your adult content to your child fan base.
He takes it upon himself to tell everyone that I got banned for advertising my NSFW content specifically to minors. And to put it simply, no, that's not true. This is why I got banned. It's because I had a link in my bio. It's that simple. There's no layers to it at all. It's just because you're not allowed to have a link in your bio that leads to anything like that. I made one video responding to a comment a while back, and I didn't check her bio beforehand. So it turns out that the comment that I responded to was 15. So he told everyone that that was completely on purpose and that I was deliberately sending this 15-year-old to my NSFW content that did not have age restriction. Now, this argument is very easy to understand, and it can be very easily proven wrong because the date that that video was made, the one and only way to access my NSFW content was via OnlyFans, which was age restricted. The Patreon that he was mentioning, I only had it up for a couple of days, weeks before I made this video, accidentally to the minor. And he tried to say that this Patreon that was gone, and it only existed for a couple of days, weeks ago, that I was sending this person now to that, even though it didn't exist anymore. And the only thing that was available was my age-restricted OnlyFans. And the only reason I ever tried to use Patreon in the first place was very simply because it paid more than OnlyFans. So if you make a lot of dough on Patreon, it gives like all of it to you. But OnlyFans takes a larger cut from your earnings. That's it. That is the only reason I used Patreon instead of OnlyFans right out the bat. And here's all the proof of that. When it was up, when it was banned, when the video was made, at that time the only thing available was my age-restricted one. So once again, for the fourth time, he got caught in his lie and people started going from his side to my side. So after that 4th failed attempt, he tried again. He posted an embarrassing DM of me miserably failing to rizz up a girl, and once again tried to make everyone think that I was a pedophile because the girl was supposedly 16. His argument this time was that her age was in her bio, and I knew she was 16, and I was gross by trying to flirt with her. And once again, he was wrong. Her age was not in her bio. It was not in her TikTok bio. It was not in her alt TikTok bio. It was not in her Instagram, her alt Instagram. It was not in her Facebook or her Twitter. It was absolutely nowhere. And I just looked back at his account to look at these old videos, and coincidentally, his one video posting her age in her bio, it's not there. He says it got taken down. I find that to be a blissful coincidence. That one video is the only one to get taken down. So there was absolutely no conceivable way I could have possibly known this girl's age. All I knew was the thirst trap that I saw on TikTok and the pictures of her in her bra on Instagram. And she had piercings and tattoos, which at very least where I live, you need to be 18 to get tattoos and piercings. So naturally, I was just like, okay, duh, she's over 18. There's no way she could have tattoos if she's under 18. So granted, I can't technically prove that she was over 16. All I'm saying is that there was absolutely no way I could have known that she was 16, even if she was. Besides asking.
You fucking idiot.
And even if she was, I 100% did not know. You can even look through the whole DM. The whole conversation I had with her, it's been leaked. It's everywhere. You can look it up yourself on Twitter, on Google, or whatever. You can find it. You can read it start to finish. Not once is her age mentioned. So I was never made aware of her age. The only thing I had to go off of was her extremely lewd Instagram pictures. So that was his fifth failed attempt to lie about me. And now I'm sure you're wondering, if you proved all of these wrong, well, why does everyone hate you? And it's because none of that mattered. No one cared if he lied about all those things. No one cared that this was the fifth time he'd been lying through his teeth about me. Because in this elaborate web of lies that I was dismantling, there was a big gaping hole at the center of it. That if this one thing was true, it didn't matter if all of these other lies were lies. This is all that mattered. Biggest thing of all, the most notorious thing that I was accused of, and the one thing that I couldn't deny because I admitted to it myself. Sending nudes to a different 16-year-old girl. That was the killing blow. The words left my own lips, so there was no denying it. Now you're definitely wondering, why the fuck would you admit to that? If you were so determined to prove your innocence about all this, why the hell would you just say that? No one bothered to ask that when all this went down. No one wondered at all why I seemingly admitted to everything for no particular reason at all. And it's pretty simple. He DM'd me asking to call and talk about everything, saying he wanted a peaceful outcome and to hear my side of things. And he made me swear not to record the conversation. He made me promise that I was not recording before we started. I don't know why the fuck I trusted him, but I did, and God, was that a mistake. We had 2.5 hours worth of conversation. I want you to think about that for a second. 2.5 hours worth of calling about how I was telling him the girl DM'd me, I did not DM her. She flirted with me, I did not flirt with her. She sent me pictures first. She told me she was 20 and she wouldn't stop asking until I sent her pics back. And you know what he did? The very next day, out of that 2.5 hours worth of call, he posted the 6 seconds where I said, yes, that happened.
You did send explicit photos to this 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's absolutely my fault.
He advertised it as Tall Knight's confession. Like, I got personal with him over that call. I got talking about my family trauma and how I hated all the TikTok drama, how I was just trying to be a better person and that I don't want beef with him. I trusted him with many sensitive details about my life, and I wanted him to understand that I did not want him as an enemy. Only for it to turn out that he was just trying to get me to say that I did it so that he could take it out of context to make me look bad. Then it made sense why he made me promise not to record the call. So that way he could tell everyone what happened in the call and I would have no way of proving him wrong. So that's what did the most damage. At that point, our beef had gotten the attention of the entire fucking internet. From popular reaction channels to hundreds of small creators, to even some of the biggest creators. I lost everything. Hundreds of thousands of followers. And some of my closest friends. I was getting 999 plus DMs a day, calling me a pedophile and telling me to kill myself. For an entire month, I was receiving nothing but harassment. Like, my address got leaked, my phone number got leaked, I didn't feel safe outside. I was getting phone calls non-stop every day. Every other night account on TikTok that I was friends with blocked me. Even one of my biggest inspirations, Swagger Souls, was against me. Every single person in my life was telling me to give up. All over something that wasn't even true. I just couldn't prove it. I didn't know she was 16. And I wasn't even the one who started the DM. People started referring to this girl as the victim. They started talking about her like if the whole ordeal was non-consensual, like if I was some type of predator. Now, my friend, for the reason I am making this video. So you know that TikTok trend? Don't chop up 200 shots, bang. Where you take an old photo of yourself and you show your glow up. You show like then versus now. So I decided to do it. And I knew that most of my old pictures of myself, they weren't in my Photos app. They were in Google Photos, which stores old photos. And the thing about Google Photos is that it keeps photos and videos even if you deleted them from your Photos app. If they were on your phone long enough to sync to Google Photos, even if you delete it from your photos, it will remain in Google Photos. So I was scrolling, I was just looking for old selfies, old pictures of myself that I could use as the then, and there it was. The proof. In all its glory, the original screen recording of the entire conversation, taken from the perspective of the girl who blackmailed me, that she told me she was 20 years old. The funny thing is, Pippy has most definitely seen this. I know he has because the girl told me that she was going to Pippy with it. The reason Pippy never did anything with this was because he knew it wouldn't work, because she said in the conversation that she was 20. So he knew that wouldn't go anywhere. But in the Discord call with him, months after, he asked if I had any proof of the conversation, if I had anything saved, and I was like, no. I blocked her and then I deleted it, and then I deleted Snapchat. I have absolutely no evidence of the conversation. And then he got me to say that she was 16, and that's how we did it. It's brilliant, honestly. In his defense, it was one hell of a plan. Everything fell apart because of this lie. A lie that could have been disproved with evidence that I didn't even know I had. My entire reputation crumbled, and all the good I had done, suddenly it didn't matter. And suddenly everyone forgot my good deeds. Suddenly I was evil. Suddenly everyone who adored me now despised me. And with good reason. If what he was saying was true, I wouldn't blame you guys at all. And I want you guys to understand that I'm not mad at any of you. Despite all of the hate messages that I received, you guys were in the right. If any of that was true, that was the appropriate reaction. I don't blame you guys at all. You thought this was true. It's not like you guys knew it wasn't true. All the people that I thought were my friends, all of my mutuals. I was mutuals with almost every single other crusader/knight on TikTok, because that's how terrifying cancel culture is. None of them wanted to be even remotely associated with me. Otherwise, they would run the risk of being caught in the crossfire. Everything I had worked for 2 years, it was all just falling apart. And all I could do was watch and beg people to believe me, even though I couldn't prove it. Watching my life fall apart when I was innocent the whole time. And some people did, even with no proof. Some people did just believe me. But my mutuals and my friends on TikTok, like my friends that had millions of followers, I won't mention their names just because, for this exact reason. I asked them to help and defend me, and they all refused because they said that even though they did believe me personally, they couldn't risk their platform by getting involved in the drama. It's just too risky. Cancel culture is a weapon. Cancel culture is not people taking power and getting rid of bad people. That's not what cancel culture is. Cancel culture is weaponized and used just to take down people that you don't like. That's all it is. No one uses it for any other reason. So I just had to power through it. Just laugh it off, make jokes about it, and pretend it wasn't destroying me on the inside. It is a torment like no other that I have ever experienced. To know that all of the people you care about most see you this way, as the most foul and despicable type of human, when it isn't true. This type of torment drives young men to suicide all the time, just like Inquisitor. You could never understand how much it hurts and the amount of strength that it takes to not let it overwhelm you. And I fell into a pretty bad depression, I'm not gonna lie. The whole ordeal is about 4 months ago, and I haven't touched any of my weights since. I haven't worked out once. I've just been eating my feelings away, playing games and going to work, and just trying to keep my mind off of how much it hurt. Because as much as I hate him, Pippy wouldn't have anything if I didn't keep fucking up so much. He wouldn't have anything to frame me for if I wasn't being stupid all the time. And that's pretty much the whole of it. I'm just a stupid kid who got famous too fast. So thank you for listening. Thank you for seeking the truth. I'm sorry I couldn't prove my innocence sooner. But do me a solid, would you? Next time you see a TikTok calling me a groomer, could you do me a favor and tell them to shut the fuck up, please? Thanks. Because now you know that I am irrefutably, undeniably, unchangeably innocent. Always was. And to all the content creators that made videos about me in the past, you helped destroy my name. Now help me rebuild it. I'm not asking for an apology. Just help me spread the word that the tall knight was innocent.